Welcome, dear listener, to a soothing tale spun from the cobblestone threads of the past, crafted to lull you into the gentle embrace of sleep. Before we embark on this cozy journey, please subscribe to our channel so you never miss another bedtime story. Now, settle beneath your blankets, close your eyes, and let the misty glow of 1816 London carry you away. Asterisk, it's 1816, and you're Clara, a 16-year-old apprentice in your uncle's bakery in Cheapside, a bustling corner of London where the air is thick with the scent of coal smoke, river damp, and the faint sweetness of fresh-baked bread. The Napoleonic Wars have ended, Napoleon exiled to St. Helena, and the city is stitching itself back together after years of few rumors of bomb plots by radicals. Echoes of wartime alarms still lingering in the fog. You're a girl with a quick laugh and a freckled face, known for your deft hands with dough, and your knack for brightening even the gloomiest of London mornings. Your life is woven into the rhythm of the bakery, its warmth a counterpoint to the chilly streets outside, its oven a glowing heart that keeps the war's shadows at bay. You wake before dawn, the attic room above the bakery creaking under the weight of a city still stirring. The slanted ceiling is low, the walls papered with faded roses, and your bed, a simple pallet piled with a quilt, stitched by your mother in her Devon childhood smells of lavender and thyme. You light a single candle, its flame casting soft shadows that dance like memories, and pull on your wool dress, its hem frayed but warm. The quilt, with its patches of blue calico and red flannel, is your anchor, a reminder of your mother's. Stories of Devon's cliffs and meadows, a world far from London's fog. You tuck it around your shoulders for a moment, savoring its weight before slipping downstairs to the bakery, where the scent of yeast and wood smoke greets you like an old friend. Your uncle, Thomas, is already at work, his apron dusted with flour, his hands kneading dough with the steady rhythm of a man who survived war's lean years. He's gruff, with a beard like a hedge and eyes that crinkle when he laughs, which is often, especially when you're around. "Up, Clara," he calls, his voice booming over the crackle of the oven's fire. Bread won't bake itself. You grin, tying your own apron, and set to work, your hands sinking into the soft, warm dough, its texture a comfort against the morning's chill. The bakery is a small space, its walls blackened by years of smoke, its shelves lined with loaves rye, white and seed-studded rolls that glow golden in the firelight. The counter is worn, scratched by countless coins and hands, and the window, fogged with steam, looks out on Cheapside's narrow street, where gas lamps flicker like stars in the pre-dawn gloom. You move through the morning, shaping loaves, brushing them with water to crisp the crust, and sliding them into the oven's maw. The heat wraps you like a shawl, and the scent of baking bread fills the air, mingling with the faint tongue of the Thames, drifting through the open door. Outside, London is waking. The clop of horses' hooves, the shouts of hawkers selling hot pies, the distant chime of St. Paul's bells. You love this city, its chaos and charm, its cobblestone alleys and grand squares, even if it's still healing from the war's wounds. The newspapers, stacked by the counter, whisper of radical plots, rumors of bombs hidden in cellars, echoes of the fear that gripped London when Napoleon's shadow loomed. But here, in the bakery, those echoes are drowned out by the crackle of the fire, the rustle of your apron, the hum of your uncle's tuneless song. You step outside to sweep the stoop, the fog curling around you like a living thing, damp and cool against your cheeks. Cheapside is a labyrinth of shops and taverns, their signs creaking in the breeze. A butcher's cleaver, a tailor's needle, a watchmaker's clock. You know them all, these neighbors, their faces as familiar as the quilt's patches. There's Mrs. Finch, the seamstress, who waves as she pins a dress in her window. Mr. Patel, a clerk from Calcutta, who buys a loaf every morning, his stories. of India's vibrant markets tucked into your memory like treasures, and Mr. Grimsby, the watchmaker, whose scowl could curdle milk. You've learned to navigate their glances, some kind, some curious, some sharp with the war's lingering mistrust. Of anything different. You're just Clara, the baker's niece, but your Devon roots and your quick wit set you apart. A girl who's both of London and not. Back inside, you help your uncle serve the morning rush, your hands quick as you wrap loaves in cloth for customers. A boy from the docks, his cap askew, eyes a roll and tells you of ships unloading tea from Ceylon, his voice bright with adventure. A maid from a grand house in Mayfair, her hands chapped from scrubbing, shares gossip about her master's war medals, her laughter soft as the bread she buys. You listen, your freckled face alight, and feel the city's pulse through their stories, a rhythm of recovery and hope. The bakery is a crossroads, a place where London's voices Cockney, Cornish, even far-off Canadian meet, their words weaving a tapestry of a world moving past war. You tuck these stories away, like a lavender sprig your mother pressed, into your quilt, each one a thread in the fabric of your life. Midday brings a lull, and you sit by the counter, nibbling a crust of rye, its tongue sharp on your tongue. Your uncle tells you of his wartime days, when bread was scarce and he baked for soldiers, his hands steady even as cannons rumbled across the channel. We fed hope, he says, his eyes distant, and you imagine him then, younger, his apron stained with flour and fear. His stories ground you, reminding you that the bakery is more than a shop. It's a haven, a place where Londoners come to break bread, to share laughter, to heal. You think of your mother, who died when you were small, her Devon lullabies still, echoing in your dreams. She taught you to find joy in small things, the warmth of dough, the flicker of a candle, the creak of a floorboard, and you carry that joy now. Even as the city whispers of past dangers, the afternoon calls you back to work, and you need more dough, your hands finding a rhythm that matches the city's heartbeat. You think of the streets outside, where costermongers shout and carriages rattle, where the Thames flows sluggish and gray under London's bridges. You've walked those bridges, your boots tapping on stone, and dreamed of other places. Devon's green hills, where your mother ran as a girl. Quebec's snowy forests, from tales told by a Canadian traveler. Even India, where Mr. Patel says, spices fill the air, but Cheapside is your home. Its fog and firelight your world, and the bakery is its heart. A place where the war's echoes are softened by the scent of bread and the warmth of shared stories dot as evening falls. You climb to your attic, the stairs creaking under your feet. The candle you light casts a golden glow, and you settle onto your pallet, the quilt heavy and soft. Its patches a map of your mother's life. You hear the city outside tavern songs, the clatter of a night watchman's boots, the distant hoot of a barge on the Thames. The war's fears, those bound rumors, those radical whispers seem far away, drowned out by the bakery's warmth, the memory of your uncle's laugh, the promise of tomorrow's loaves. You close your eyes, the quilt's lavender scent wrapping. You can feel London's embrace, a city healing, a city yours, its rhythm a gentle lullaby carrying you toward sleep. It's spring 1816, and you're Clara, a 16-year-old apprentice in your uncle's Cheapside bakery, a girl with freckles dusting your cheeks, and a laugh that brightens even the foggiest London morning. The Napoleonic Wars are over, Napoleon exiled, and London is knitting itself back together, its streets alive with the hope of peace, despite lingering whispers of radical plots and bomb scares that echo from the war years. You're known in Cheapside for your deft hands with dough and your quick wit, a baker's niece who can haggle a fishmonger into a fair deal and charm a smile from even the grumpiest customer. Today, you're weaving through the Cheapside market, a basket of rye loaves swinging from your arm, the air thick with the scents of fresh herbs, smoked mackerel, and the faint, muddy tang of the Thames. The market is your stage, a vibrant square where London's pulse beats loudest, and you move through it with the ease of someone who knows its rhythms as well as her own. The market square is a patchwork of stalls, their wooden frames draped, with checkered cloths piled high with glistening apples, wheels of cheese, and bolts of cloth dyed in hues of indigo and saffron. Vendors shout over the clop of horses' hooves and the chime of church bells, their voices a chorus of Cockney, Cornish, and the occasional lilt of a far-off land. Fresh cod caught this morn, cries a fishmonger, his hands slick with scales. Ribbons, fine as a lady's hair, calls a girl not much older than you, her tray bright with satin. You weave between them, your wool dress brushing against crates, your apron dusted with flour from the bakery's morning rush. The fog, ever present in London, swirls around the stalls, softening the edges of the world, while gas lamps flicker like fireflies, casting a warm glow on the cobblestones. The war's echoes, those rumors of radicals plotting in shadowy taverns, seem distant here, drowned out by the market's lively murmur. You pause at your uncle's stall, a small table laden with loaves, crusty rye, soft white, and roll-studded, with caraway seeds, their aroma mingling with the market's bustle. Your Uncle Thomas is back at the bakery, tending the oven, so it's you who smiles at customers, wrapping bread in cloth and pocketing their coins. Mrs. Harrell, a widow from Cornwall, stops by, her fingers nimble as she sells lace from a basket, its patterns delicate as frost. "My son loved the sea," she says, her voice soft as she hands you a loaf's payment, and you listen, your heart aching, as she tells of her sailor boy, lost in the war's final battles. You buy a scrap of her lace, its texture fine under your fingers, and tuck it into your pocket like a keepsake, a reminder of her kindness. Her story stays with you, a thread in the tapestry of London's healing, a city where grief and hope walk hand in hand. A Canadian fur trader, Mr. Levesque, pauses at the stall, his coat smelling of pine and distant snows. "In Quebec," he says, his accent thick as he buys a roll, "the forests are so quiet, you hear your own heart." He tells you of the northern lights, ribbons of green and purple dancing across the sky, and you imagine yourself there, standing in a snowy clearing, far from London's fog. His words paint a world beyond the market, and you collect them like treasures, storing them alongside Mrs. Harrow's tales of Cornwall's cliffs and your mother's stories of Devon's meadows, told to you before she passed when you were small. The market is a crossroads, a place where London meets the world, and you, Clara, are its listener, your freckled face alight with each new story. You move on, delivering loaves to regular customers, a tavern keeper who slips you a boiled sweet, its tongue sharp on your tongue, a seamstress who hums as she mends a petticoat, her needle flashing in the sunlight, a clerk from Calcutta, Mr. Patel, who buys a loaf and tells you of India's markets, where spices color the air like a sunset. Their voices weave a tapestry of the post-war world, a London that's opening its arms to travelers and traders, its streets a mosaic of accents and dreams. You feel it in the weight of the basket on your arm, the jingle of coins in your apron. Pocket, the warmth of a stranger's smile. The war's fears, those whispered plots, those bomb rumors are faint here, overshadowed by the market's energy, its promise of renewal. Back at the bakery, you unload your basket, the scent of fresh bread wrapping you like a shawl. The shop is quiet now. The morning rush over, and you sweep the floor, the broom's bristles whispering against the worn boards. Your uncle is kneading dough, his hands steady, his beard flecked with flour. He tells you of his wartime days, when he baked for soldiers, his loaves a small defiance against hunger and fear. "Bread is life, Clara," he says, his voice gruff but warm, and you nod, feeling the truth of it in your hands, still dusted with flour from the market. The bakery is a haven, its walls blackened by years of smoke, its counter scratched by. Countless hands, but it's alive with the warmth of the oven, the crackle of the fire, the scent of yeast that clings to your skin. You step outside again, the market's hum calling you back. The cobblestones are slick with spring damp, and you dodge a cart piled with cabbages, its driver shouting good-naturedly as you pass. You know these streets by heart. The butcher shop with its swinging cleaver sign, the tavern where sailors sing late into the night, the watchmakers where Mr. Grimsby, still smarting from your bun-throwing blunder, polishes his clocks with a scowl. You're Clara, the baker's niece, a girl who's both of London and apart. Your Devon roots and quick laugh setting you apart in a city still wary of difference. But the market doesn't care. It embraces you, its bustle a reminder that you're part of something larger, a world stitching itself back together after war got as afternoon fades. You sit by a fountain, its water gurgling like a soft lullaby, and nibble a crust of rye, its tongue grounding you. You think of your mother, her Devon stories of apple orchards and windy cliffs, and of your uncle, whose bakery has been your home since you were 10. You think of the market's voices, Mrs. Harrow's quiet grief, Mr. Levesque's tales of snow, Mr. Patel's spices, and feel them weave into your own story. A girl who's learning to belong in a city that's learning to heal. The fog rolls in, softening the stall's edges, and the gas lamps glow brighter, their light a promise of evening. You imagine other markets, Cornwalls, Quebecs, Indias, and dream of seeing them, your basket traded for a traveler's. Peck, your apron for a shawled-out evening, finds you back at the bakery, helping your uncle close up, the shutters creaking as you lower them. You climb to your attic room, the stairs groaning under your feet, and light a candle, its flame casting a golden glow on the faded rose wallpaper. Your palette is simple, but the quilt your mother's, patched with calico and flannel wraps. You in warmth, its lavender scent, a whisper of her love. You hear the city outside, the clatter of a carriage, the call of a night watchman, the distant hoot of a barge on the Thames. The war's echoes, those bomb scares, those radical whispers are faint now, drowned out by the market's murmur, the bakery's warmth, the stories that fill your heart. You lie back, the quilt heavy, the candle flickering, and feel London's pulse, a city alive with hope, its rhythm carrying you toward sleep. Summer has settled over London in 1816, and the bakery in Cheapside, where you, Clara, a 16-year-old apprentice, spend your days, is a haven of warmth and comfort, its oven radiating a heat that smells of fresh bread and hope. You're the niece of Thomas, a gruff but kind baker who's raised you since your mother's passing, and your life is woven into the rhythm of this shop, its blackened walls and worn counter, a testament to years of sustenance through war and peace. The Napoleonic Wars are over, Napoleon exiled, but London still carries the faint echoes of bomb scares and radical plots, whispers that linger in the city's fog like ghosts. Yet here, in the bakery, those echoes are drowned out by the crackle of the hearth, the scent of yeast, and the chatter of neighbors who gather to break bread and share stories, stitching the city back together in the post-war dawn. You rise early. The attic room above the bakery, your quiet retreat, its slanted ceiling papered with faded roses, its air heavy with the scent of your mother's quilt, patched with calico and flannel from her Devon childhood. The quilt is your anchor, its lavender scent a whisper of her love, and you linger under it for a moment before pulling on your wool dress, its hem frayed but soft against your skin. The stairs creak as you descend to the bakery, where the ovens glow greets you like a sunrise, its heat wrapping you in a cozy embrace. Your uncle is already at work, his hands kneading dough with the steady rhythm of a man who baked through the war's lean years, his beard flecked with flour, his eyes crinkling with a smile when he sees you. "Clara, get to it," he says, his voice rough but warm, and you tie on your apron. its fabric dusted with the morning's work, and join him at the counter, your hands sinking into the soft, warm dough. The bakery is a small space, its walls darkened by years of smoke, its shelves lined with loaves rye with its earthy tang, white bread soft as a cloud, rolls studded with caraway seeds that gleam golden in the firelight. The counter, scratched by countless coins and hands, is a stage for the neighborhood's daily drama. Mrs. Finch, the seamstress, who slips in for a scone and shares gossip about a lord's scandal in Mayfair. Mr. Patel, a clerk from Calcutta, who buys a loaf and tells you of India's markets, where cumin and saffron color the air. And young Jamie, a dock boy, whose cap is always askew as he trades a penny for a roll in a story about ships from distant ports. Their voices fill the shop, a tapestry of accents, Cockney, Cornish, Indian, even the occasional Canadian lilt from travelers passing through, and you listen, your freckled face alight, collecting their tailies like treasures to tuck into your heart. You knead dough beside your uncle, your hands finding a rhythm that matches the city's pulse, the dough's warmth a comfort against the summer's occasional chill. The oven crackles, its fire fed by logs you stack each morning, and the scent of baking bread weaves through the air, mingling with the faint damp of the Thames drifting through the open door. Outside, Cheapside hums with life, the clatter of carriages, the shouts of costermongers selling cherries and hot pies, the chime of St. Paul's bells marking the hours. The war's shadows, those rumors of radicals plotting in dark alleys, of bombs hidden in cellars, feel far away here, where the bakery's warmth is a shield, its loaves a promise of life moving forward. You shape rolls, brushing them with water to crisp the crust, and slide them into the oven, the heat kissing your cheeks as you work. The bakery is more than a shop. It's a crossroads where London's people meet, their stories knitting the city back together. Mrs. Finch lingers one morning, her needlework set aside as she tells you of her childhood in Dorset, where she ran through fields of lavender. War took my brother, she says, her voice soft, but bread kept us going. You nod, wrapping her scone in cloth, and feel the weight of her words, a reminder of the hunger that gripped London when Napoleon's armies loomed. Mr. Patel, with his precise handwriting and quiet smile, shares a memory of Calcutta's rivers, where boats glide under monsoon skies, and you imagine yourself there, your apron traded for a sari, the Thames for a warmer current. Jamie, the dock boy, spins tailies of ships from Quebec and Ceylon, his eyes bright with dreams of sailing, and you listen, your hands busy with dough, your mind sailing with him. Your uncle tells his own stories as you work, his voice a low rumble over the oven's crackle. He speaks of the war years, when flour was scarce, and he baked with whatever he could find: potato, barley, even sawdust once. He laughs. We fed soldiers, Clara, he says, his hands shaping a loaf, and every bite was a bit of hope. You imagine him then, younger, his bakery a lifeline in a city under siege, his loaves carrying Londoners through fear and famine. His stories ground you, weaving your work into something larger, a thread in the city's recovery. You think of your mother, who died when you were small, her Devon lullabies still echoing in your dreams. She taught you to find joy in the small things, the texture of dough, the flicker of a candle, the warmth of a hearth, and you carry that joy now, even as the city whispers of past dangers. Midday brings a lull, and you sit by the counter, nibbling. A crust of rye, its tongue sharp on your tongue. The bakery is quiet, save for the fire's pop and the distant hum of Cheapside. You sweep the floor, the broom's bristles whispering against the boards, and think of the city outside, its streets a labyrinth of shops and taverns, its skyline jagged with chimneys and spires. You've walked these streets, your boots tapping, on cobblestones, dodging carts and hawkers, feeling London's pulse under your feet. The war's echoes, those bomb scares, those radical plots, are faint now, overshadowed by the city's resilience. It's people gathering in places like this. Bakery to share bread and laughter. You think of your mother's Devon, of her stories of apple orchards and windy cliffs, and dream of seeing it someday, your basket traded for a traveler's pack. Afternoon calls you back to work, and you help your uncle serve the evening rush. Your hands quick as you wrap loaves for customers. A maid from a grand house, her hands chapped from scrubbing. A coachman who smells of leather and horses. A scholar who mutters about Byron as he buys a roll. Their stories fill the air, a mosaic of London's healing, and you feel part of it. A girl whose freckled smile and quick wit are becoming as familiar as the bakery scent. You're Clara, the baker's niece, a bit of an outsider with your Devon roots, but the bakery makes you belong. Its hearth a beacon that draws the neighborhood together. You think of other places, Cornwall's cliffs, Quebec's snowy forests, India's spice-filled markets from the tales you've heard, and they weave into your dreams. A world beyond the fog that's yours to imagine. As evening falls, you climb to your attic room, the stairs groaning under your feet. You light a candle, its flame casting a golden glow on the faded rose wallpaper, and settle onto your palette, the quilt heavy and soft, its lavender scent a whisper of your mother's. Love, the city sounds drift through the window, the clatter of a carriage, the call of a night watchman, the distant song of a tavern. The war's fears, those whispers of bombs and radicals, are faint now, drowned out by the bakery's warmth, the stories of Mrs. Finch and Mr. Patel, the laughter you share with your uncle. You lie back, the quilt wrapping you like an embrace, and feel London's heartbeat, a city stitching itself back together, its rhythm a gentle lullaby carrying you toward sleep. Autumn has draped London in shades of gold and amber, and your attic room above your uncle's Cheapside bakery has become your sanctuary, its small window framing a city that has learned to sleep through the fading echoes of war. You're Clara, a 16-year-old baker's apprentice, your freckled face and quick laugh now a familiar sight in this bustling corner of the city. The Napoleonic Wars are over, Napoleon exiled, and London is knitting itself back together, its streets alive, with the hope of peace despite the lingering whispers of radical plots and bomb scares that once haunted the fog. The bakery below, with its crackling oven and scent of fresh bread, has been your anchor, but it's here, in the quiet of your attic, that you reflect on your place in this healing city, your heart full of the stories and kindnesses that have woven you into its fabric. You wake to the soft light of dawn, the attic's slanted ceiling, papered with faded roses, the air heavy with the scent of your mother's quilt, its patches of calico and flannel, a reminder of her Devon childhood. The quilt is your comfort, its lavender scent a whisper of her love, and you linger under it, savoring its weight before pulling on your wool dress, its hem soft against your skin. The stairs creak as you descend to the bakery, or the ovens. Glow greets you like a warm embrace, its heat cutting through the autumn chill. Your Uncle Tonus is already at work, his hands kneading dough, his beard flecked with flour, his gruff voice softened by a smile. "Morning, Clara," he says, and you tie on your apron, its fabric dusted with the morning's work, and join him, your hands sinking into the warm, pliable dough, the rhythm as familiar as your own heartbeat. The bakery is a haven, it's blackened. Walls and worn counter, alive with the pulse of Cheapside. The shelves are lined with loaves rye with its earthy tang, white bread soft as a cloud, rolls studded with caraway seeds that gleam in the firelight. You shape dough, brush it with water for a crisp crust, and slide it into the oven, the heat kissing your cheeks. The scent of baking bread fills the air, mingling with the faint damp of the Thames drifting through the open door. Outside London hums the clatter of carriages, the shouts of costermongers selling apples and hot pies, the chime of St. Paul's bells. The wars echoes those rumors of bombs hidden in cellars, of radicals plotting in shadowy taverns, are faint now, drowned out by the bakery's warmth, and the chatter of neighbors who gather to buy bread and share stories. The morning rush brings familiar faces. Mrs. Finch, the seamstress, slips in for a scone, her needlework set aside as she tells you of Dorset's autumn fields, where she picked blackberries as a girl. War took so much, she says, her voice soft, but places like this keep us going. You wrap her scone in cloth, your freckled smile a mirror of her kindness, and feel her words settle into you, a reminder of the bakery's role in London's healing. Mr. Patel, a clerk from Calcutta, buys a loaf and shares a memory of India's monsoons, where rain drums on rooftops like a song. His stories paint a world beyond the fog, and you tuck them away, alongside tales from Mrs. Harrow, the Cornish widow who spoke of her sailor son at the market, and Mr. Levesque, the Canadian fur trader who described Quebec's northern lights. Their voices weave a tapestry of the post-war world, a London that's a crossroads of cultures, its people stitching hope from shared moments. You work through the day, your hands deft with dough, your laugh brightening the shop. Jamie, the dock boy with the askew cap, trades a penny for a roll and tells you of a ship from Ceylon, its hold full of tea and spices. "I'll sail one day," he says, his eyes bright, and you nod, imagining him on the high seas, your own. Dreams drifting to Devon's cliffs, Quebec's snows, India's markets. The bakery is a hub, drawing neighbors who linger to talk. A maid from Mayfair, her hands chapped from scrubbing, who gossips about her master's war medals. A coachman who smells of leather and tells of racing through London streets. A scholar who mutters about Shelley as he buys a bun. Their stories fill the air, a mosaic of a city moving past war. And you, Clara, are its listener, your heart a repository for their hopes and memories. Midday brings a quiet moment, and you sit by the counter, nibbling a crust of rye, its tongue sharp on your tongue. The fire crackles, fed by logs you stacked at dawn, and you think of your uncle's stories of the war years, when he baked with whatever he could find: barley, potato, even sawdust once. He laughed. Bread was hope, he told you, and you feel it now in the weight of the loaves, the warmth of the oven, the smiles of customers. You think of your mother, who died when you were small, her Devon lullabies echoing in your dreams. She taught you to find joy in the small things, the texture of dough, the flicker of a candle, the creak of floorboards, and you carry that joy, even as the city whispers of past fears. Afternoon calls you back to work, and you serve the evening. Rush your hands quick as you wrap loaves for a stream of customers. A tavern keeper who slips you a boiled sweet, a tailor who hums as he buys bread for his apprentices, a nurse who speaks of wounded soldiers she tended during the war. Their voices blend with the city's sounds carriage wheels, tavern songs, the hoot of a barge on the Thames, creating a rhythm that grounds you. You're Clara, the baker's niece, a girl with Devon roots in a city that's learning to see you, not just your differences. The bakery is your anchor, its hearth a beacon that draws Cheapside together, its loaves a promise of life moving forward dot as dawn creeps through your window, painting the room in soft gold. You feel the city's pulse, steady and sure. You've found your place here, in the bakery's warmth, in the market's murmur, in the kindness of neighbors who've learned to see you, not your differences. You imagine a future where you bake or write or travel, carrying Cheapside's light with you. The scone incident becomes a story you'll tell forever, a laugh that binds you to Elmswood, a reminder that even the grumpiest hearts can soften. You close your eyes, the quilt soft, the city quiet, and drift to sleep, wrapped in the cozy embrace of 1816, knowing you're home, in a London that's learned to sing its own lullaby.